All right, we're here with lead pastor Arnie Wilson, and we're just going to do a little interview to try to get to know him a little bit better. Pastor Arnie, where did you grow up, and what kind of place is it?
I grew up in Henderson, Kentucky, and Henderson County is where that's located. It's a wonderful place. I say it's a place that you get the best of all worlds, because where I grew up, there was really nothing out there. The nearest house was like 250 yards, and the town's probably 40 to 45,000 people, and it's got some restaurants, stuff like that in it, but nothing major. And then across the river is Evansville, Indiana, which has a mall and all kinds of restaurants, basically a city. So I got the best of the city, the town, and the country life.
All right, what kind of things did you do when you were growing up?
Well, I really did a lot of country living. Being in a river town, we did a lot of fishing. I did some hunting growing up, and really wasn't very good at that. Loved riding four-wheelers. We did a lot of mudding in the bottoms, and we'd make pits and bury these four-wheelers in it, and I had a great time doing that. I'm looking forward to doing that again someday. Did a lot of horseback riding, and even got involved in the rodeo at one point, where we would do some rodeo stuff, from roping, and even on our land we built an arena where we could practice roping and doing some things like that. So basically anything country, we were involved in it.
Sounds good. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Henderson County High School, and at that time it was the largest high school in the state of Kentucky as far as population. And 10 through 12 went to the high school back then.
All right. And then after high school, you went to college, right?
Yeah, I went to Trevecca Nazarene University in Nashville, Tennessee, and majored in religion there. Enjoyed my experience there at the university. Lived in Nashville for a total of 6 years. And at the end of that 6th year, I was glad to move on.
What are some of your favorite hobbies?
Well, I'm a sports guy, so I enjoy, even now in my old age, I enjoy playing basketball still. I like golf. I like to coach basketball too when I have the opportunities. And softball's something I enjoy doing as well. Maybe not as much as the other things, but at least I get to meet people doing that. So I really enjoy those kind of things with sports. And then reading. I like to read. And also watch sports, so all those.
Sounds good. All right, if somebody was going to feed you your favorite meal, what's your favorite food?
Well, I would say all of it's my favorite, pretty much. I enjoy eating. I enjoy the table fellowship that goes along with eating, all of it. But my favorite food would probably have to be my mom's baked beans. That may sound crazy to you all, but growing up, like special occasions, my mom baked beans were the best. And my wife now has learned this, basically it's a non-recipe, you just have to figure it out. And so my wife has now figured it out to where it tastes pretty much the same. And so that is my favorite food.
Sounds good. And what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
All right. Is there any other weird things that you'd like for people to know about you?
Yeah, I'm very particular, I guess, when it comes to certain things. I have a hard time letting go of tasks or jobs when I think they need to be done, or when I start them, then I have to finish them. I can start a job, and if I know that it's still going to take another 6 hours and it's midnight, then I'm just going to keep going with 6 hours, because I have to finish everything I start. It's just the way I'm in yard work. If I start a task, I can't come back and finish it later. I just can't. I can't let it rest. My wife would tell you I drive people crazy because I do the laundry in the house. And if there's 5 items in a laundry basket, you can bet I'm going to put that in the laundry and make sure it gets done. Can't stand stuff being cluttered up. So it's weird. I know I'm doing it, and I can't help it. That's just who I am.
Okay, other than being the lead pastor at Farmdale, what are some of the other ministries you're involved with?
Well, as I mentioned sports earlier, I do a lot of sports activity ministries. I do devotions for basketball leagues, coach young kids. Part of coaching them is to help them learn the game, but also to meet families, meet parents. I am part of Smyrna Family Council, where I get to sit on the elementary school right near our church and work through issues with them on community issues for the kids and families. I speak whenever I get a chance. Sometimes I speak at the school that my kids go to. They've invited me in to speak there before. So pretty much anything that I can get involved in to share Jesus, I do. There's many other things I do, but those are just a few. Actually, just recently I got to be a part with Moore High School, which was also by our church, kind of in a chaplaincy role, which I'm trying to get into. It's been so busy that I've not been able to get over there, but that's another area I'm working on now.
Okay. What do you think are some of your strengths?
I think one of my greatest strengths, I'm very passionate about bringing people to Jesus. I'm very passionate about that. I love people. I build relationships up easily because I care for people so much. I want to hear their stories. I want to know their stories. So I think that's probably where I'm very gifted, is in building relationships up. I also think I'm an adequate preacher. I think I'm adequate. I don't think I'm great. I don't think I'm the best. None of that, because it's not true. But I'm adequate. And so I think it is one of the gifts that God has given me.
All right. What are your favorite sports teams?
My favorite sports teams, number one above all things, is the Kentucky Wildcats basketball. Football too, baseball, whatever it is, Kentucky Wildcats I'm on, but especially basketball. Split season tickets for the University of Kentucky, so I get to go to the games, and I enjoy that. My favorite NFL team is the San Francisco 49ers. I grew up watching them on TV. There wasn't that many games on or many teams, but San Francisco was on quite a bit. And Joe Montana, I was drawn to Joe Montana and his play, and Jerry Rice and the whole scenario. And so even a few years ago, I got to actually go out to California and watch them play in the new Levi's Stadium. So that was a good trip for me. The Cincinnati Reds, as heartbreaking as they are every year pretty much, I have been a Cincinnati Reds fan. I never abandoned my teams. The San Antonio Spurs in the NBA, David Robinson, I loved David Robinson growing up for the way he played as a 7-footer and could shoot the ball, but also for his personal testimony and his relationship with Jesus. And so I've been a Spurs fan since I was little, and that kind of shows you how old I'm getting. And then when it comes to like other sports, I do watch NASCAR occasionally. I've kind of dropped off recently, but Jeff Gordon brought me in, and I watched Gordon all the time. Jimmy Johnson, I watched him up until he retired, also telling you my age. And now I kind of keep up with Chase Elliott a little bit with Hendrick Motorsports, but that's pretty much it.
What's your family dynamic life here at home?
I just would say crazy. I mean, if you want fast-paced, crazy, just come to the Wilsons. We have 3 boys. One just turned 13, one just turned 10, and one just turned 8, basically. So we are always on the go, from sports practices to training, to school events, and then, of course, the church. I mean, we are constantly busy with things going on around the church life, and my wife's on staff, and so she's very busy all the time. I feel like there's weeks we're passing. We don't have a good enough balance. We're working on it. But there are weeks I feel like I don't see my wife, or I don't see the kids, or they don't, it's just kind of crazy. And so we're trying to be better at the family life because we need that. But yes, I would say crazy.
Well, speaking of church, what is your favorite thing about Farmdale?
That's an easy one. Farmdale is a very open church, very open church family. From day one, it doesn't matter how crazy an idea I might have or where I think we need to go, the leadership is always open to listen and help me navigate through that. They do a great job of just saying, let's do ministry. Let's go reach people. We could do the craziest of things, and they'd be ready to roll with it. And so there is no doubt that is their openness to do ministry and their willingness to love on people. I can tell you this, it's one of the friendliest places you will find and most welcoming churches you will find. I guarantee it.
Have you ever served in any district positions?
Yes, probably way too many district positions over the years. I've been NY vice president. I've led several district events where I directed them, from breakaways, worked in TNTs, Top Nazarene Talent stuff. Pretty much anything you can think of, I've done it either directing or helping. Then I was a secretary of that, the NYI for a while. Now I'm on the district advisory board now. I've also been blessed to teach some courses for our ministers in training, and my favorite course to teach has been preaching, and I've taught it quite a bit for our district.
All right. How long have you been at Farmdale, and what changes have you seen at Farmdale?
Well, I've been there 12 years, and apparently that is a long, long time, folks say. Changes have been many from the structure. I mean, we've pretty much remodeled the entire building and built on, went through major construction issues, and the place looks different than it did when I arrived. Also, I think probably the hardest thing for me in the changes has been when I did arrive, there were probably the average age was way on up. And we've lost a lot of elderly folks within the congregation who were my dear friends. And I miss them. They were supportive, and the church misses them. And so I'm glad they are enjoying their reward, but that's been tough. But at the same time, the exciting part of all that is during this time, we've reached a lot of new people and a lot of new families. There's new faces at Farmdale all the time. And so I think that's the major changes. And I think we've probably really, over especially the last 3 to 4 years, really started to invest in the community in new ways. And I think that's a testament to who we are as a people.
Okay. People who know you say this a lot.
Anytime you're around me, you're going to hear God is with us. I say it from the pulpit. I say it in sermons. I say it in prayers. My favorite promises of Scripture, there are many, but that's probably one of my favorites, is that God is with us. I don't think there's any better news than God is with us. And the other is connect. I just believe in building relationships and connecting with others, connecting with our community, connecting with God, connecting with each other. I think that's very important. So you'll hear me say those phrases quite often.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time here. Is there anything else you would like to tell the viewers of this video?
If you're watching this and you've hung in here this long, I would tell you, give Farmdale a chance if you don't have a church home. It really is a great place. You are family. We have a saying around here, actually. You're a guest only once, and after that, family. And we live by that motto. We want you to be a part of the family. It's a place to belong. It'll be the most friendly, welcoming people you'll come across. And so I just hope that this gives you an idea a little bit of who I am and a little bit of who we are as a people.